We are stuck in a bad story. That's the big problem on planet Earth right now. You have an
Oh, hi, Troy.
all-star crowd right now.
And my purpose is to create spaces of belonging and to have people return to their childlike wonder to reimagine everything.
My purpose is to make sure people aren't alone, maybe to make community.
To inspire people into the realm of possibility.
And my purpose is to transform the world through music and arts.
I use a term called story living, completely obliterating and obsoleting any blurry lines between fact and fiction.
The key thing we need to focus on is the nurture of the new forest.
All towards the visions of a global network of these regenerative sanctuaries and living labs and playgrounds of transformation.
It's not dead tree falling.
None of us woke up and chose to be in this world. I think we all woke up and chose to be in this call.
So awesome to be here. My socks are like blown off.
Zach is stewarding a pool around, another world is possible. And it means that, we can all create some sort of commitments and add them to Zachary's pool. And that doesn't have to be money if that's not what we have right now, but it can be whatever goods and services we can offer. And so that's kind of the beginning of it. So I hear there's this huge offering you're providing. I think a lot of people are going to be super excited about that.
Bro, what? This is like my heart and soul, So I love it. I'm so excited to be here. And let's do this fucking thing. Yes.
Because we have the power to create complex systems, damn it. We have the power to tell the story. We have the power to change the world. Quest on. "50 storytellers from across the globe just put a crack in the matrix by gathering together to prove that when we stop being background characters in a story we did not write, that is destroying the world, and write the story ourselves, everything becomes possible. Our calling is the breakdown of that system and to steward us to the other side. Everything feels broken and everyone knows it, but these are all symptoms of a system that is ultimately a story. And the solutions to this story lie scattered all across the world in isolated solutions and living alternatives that we weave together in a common narrative when we remember that we are the storytelling ape, that we write the story. So our quest, our community quest, every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Pacific time, we gather together the storytellers, the world builders and change makers and thought leaders of the world, the people who know another world is possible, to live it, to gather together, join our forces together, and imagine our way out of a broken story. Our vision is community as the governing principle of reality, and to create a true community quest and to build a new system for humanity to remember that we are the authors and to rewrite our lives, to change reality one story at a time, and to federate together the solutions of commitment pools in Kenya, regenerative villages in Portugal, of indigenous wisdom and cutting-edge technology, where isolated dreamers become unified story systems, living the alternative, making the impossible inevitable by telling a story that makes the old obsolete. The mission is for us to gather together and do the impossible, to rewrite reality and to live something bigger and better that breaks down the old story and recreates it anew into whatever we want it to do, and to do it as a community, to come together into a live work session every single week where we join together as community to figure out the biggest problems in the world and solve them together, and to model this as a new kind of business, a new kind of community, a new kind of revolution, one where we are all the authors. So come, the future is calling our names. The future we want is one story away. So join us and like and subscribe, click the comment, leave a comment with your story and tell us what you want us to get into next week. Another world is possible. It starts now. Let's give it a couple minutes and just let people start trickling in. Got Ramsey, first one there. Very nice. We were just talking about how a corporation is basically a sociopathic line of code on a piece of paper. We got Stacy Druss, and how we're trying to outdo that with a better spell. Ramsey, good morning. or afternoon or
Good
night.
morning.
Charles Blass. Very cool. All right, people are coming. I was just thinking, oh, no one's gonna show up. No one's gonna come. No one's gonna show up. Oh no, they're showing. All right, we're filling up faster than I can see them. Oh, I love this. This is what a great feeling. We got Sammy from Finland. We got Kevin Howard in the house. The man, the myth, the legend.
Yes.
Excellent. Fresh off his first Metamyth journey. We got Charles Blass zooming in from where?
Zurich.
Zurich. Amazing. Looking good, brother. Sinead. How you doing? Great to see you. Bruce. I like Bruce. Never met him before. Oh my goodness. What a it's like Christmas Day. Let's give a couple more minutes for people to chime in. Come on, folks, get warmed up. Where are we coming in from? What are we bringing into this call?
Hey everyone,
Tongue?
I'm in Wales right now. I'm at the Astral Ship, which is
Wow.
converted church. It's now a co-living, co-working space.
A convert church, Zach. Isn't
Ariana
that
and I were
we'll
just
talk
talking about that
later.
last night. Yeah, that's goals right there.
This is synchronicity.
So we're gonna have to come together as a community and buy a
Yeah.
church, at least one. I mean, churches everywhere, right? Starting a cult.
Catholic churches. No, Catholic
Did I say
ones.
that out loud?
The
Okay, we got
Commons,
people still
the
trickling
Commons Hub are
in.
buying one. Commons Hub in Austria are buying a church. You
I
saw
know.
that, right?
So good. I love it. We got some. All right, Save Salish C. Bruce. Wonderful. Let's keep people keep trickling in. Faizan Abasi. How are we doing? Where are you coming in from? The moon. I mean, nice to know that we have some people coming in off planet. Pakistan. Amazing.
Oh, welcome.
Welcome. Yeah, you've zoomed very far to be here today. 2 people in the waiting room. All right, let's keep it going. This is fun. I like this.
Hi, Shauna from Toronto. Fellow Canadian.
Where's the waiting room? Got multiple people in there and I can't see it. I'm gonna make, how do I make a co-host? Admit all. All right, you're all admitted. Okay, we've got how many people right now? Let's cut that. Or keep chiming in. Where are we coming in from? We got Elisa Murphy. We got Andre from Houston, Texas. Zebulon. What a cool name. Where are you coming from? The future?
New Zealand.
Excellent. TDF in Portugal. August is back. Excellent. All right. Who else we got here? Who hasn't? I'm hearing my own voice too much. Let's chime in. We got Patrick from Earth Change Foundation. We got Michael. Excellent. Could be one of many Michaels, actually. Oh, no, it's the one. The only. David? Fucking A. All right, cool. We'll give this a couple more minutes. People are still coming in. Wow. Can I get some other people chiming in, please? I'm getting stage fright. Oh, we got Darren. There you are. Show us the beard. Beard reveal, please. Oh my God. Epic. Leo. Yes. I love this shit. So many friends.
Coming in from the United States, Kentucky. Excited to be here.
I love Kentucky. One of my favorite states. A truly medieval place. Daniel, wow, brother, you're looking great. So great to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too. And who else do I recognize? Hey, Simon.
Hey, how you doing? Hey,
Hey,
good to see you,
good to
Daniel.
see you.
Yeah.
Yeah, hey, Ariana.
All right, people are still coming in. Let's give it five more minutes, maybe 2 more minutes, 3 more minutes, something like that, and then we'll get going.
Is it like morning in there?
It is 10 a.m. Pacific time in sunny Topanga, California. It's a beautiful, beautiful day in the mountains here.
Yeah, it's 8 at the evening here in Finland.
Troy,
So
we've got, all right, 30 people so far. Very nice, very nice. Get a couple more minutes. People are still trickling in.
Hey, Zach, nature has spoken. I can see from here a rabbit hole.
My dog has been trying to dig into a rabbit hole all day. He's obsessed. But that's not the biggest rabbit hole we're going to be going down. We're going to be embarking on quite a rabbit hole in just a few minutes once the people show up. Troy, how you doing? Great to see you.
Hey, Zach. Good to see you, my friend. Thank you for the invite.
All right, we are almost ready to embark. I think we have enough adventurers to
Hey Marlo, did you work out how you're going to do the breakout rooms? Do you have that sorted for today?
I did indeed. Breakouts sorted.
Nice.
Oh, gang, I need to make somebody the co-host so that we can name our things. Nathan, where are you in this huge chat with all these people? Okay. Nathan, I'm gonna make you the host, all right?
Sounds good.
Actually, no, I'll just do it now. We still got people trickling in, so give us a couple more minutes, folks, and then we'll get started. A couple more people. Let's hear from where you are today and what brought you in here.
Zach, I saw your post a couple weeks back, and we were supposed to talk, but we hadn't had a chance to yet.
Deborah, so great!
Yes,
so great you made it.
Yes, nice to see you.
So we got questocracy. We've got another Nathan or Nathan on his phone.
Yeah, I'm joining on my computer.
Give me just a second. I'm naming the rooms. Let's hear from a couple other folks. Let's give it 2 more minutes and then we'll get going.
Hey, I'm Daniel. I'm in Brooklyn right now. I missed last week. I guess this was the second one. I don't really know what I signed up for, but I'm here for it.
Hi, Daniel. So nice to see you again.
Yeah, you too.
Got another adventurer just trickled in, and Andrew. All right,
Daniel, you're in for a treat.
Gang, what were our names again? We've got Questocracy, Communitech, Media Attraction, Connectionality. That was the community one, right? I mean, was there one more? I think. Yeah, Regenomics, duh, or Easiness, like Easiness more. All right, so we are ready to roll, I believe. Looks like we have quite a few amazing heroes in the room. All right, so wait, let's see. Spotlight. No, what did I do? Hold on. Let's see. All right. Welcome to the Another World is Possible Community Quest, the second one. I mean, amazing to see there's, most of the people who showed up last week are returned to continue on our journey, which is a journey. We are moving forward continually. And this week is going to be a lot more structured. We have a much more organized flow. And we have some goals. We have some structured points where we need the fellowship to converge. And so just a little bit of an introduction for the people who are new here. We are embarking on a quest to come together as a community, the most integral and ancient form for humans to come together and change reality, to do just that, write a new story for ourselves and for the world, to write the destructive plot line that is spiraling downward every day, and realize what is possible. When we come together, we remember we are not background characters in somebody else's story. We are the authors of reality. We are the ones with the pen. And with that said, we want to give you a little high level brief of what we're going to be getting into today. We're going to tell a little bit of our origin story. Ariana's going to share about the power of story, how powerful one story can be to actually change an individual human life. Then we're going to dig deeper into our purpose. We're going to really explain to you what is the metamyth, what is the story of the story, and what is the sacred technology that we're using to change the world, and what is the organizational structure and the sort of vision that we have for this community of communities. And then we're going to get into the results, the vision of what is possible when we come together and do it. We're going to bring on our amazing crew to introduce the different dimensions of what we're trying to build and create so that we're actually going to co-create with all of you. Oh, I skipped one. There's the calling. I want to hear from everybody here, like what brought you in here? What are the problems in your life that we want to solve? Because we're really trying to get a feel for the community, for what the people here are going through and how we can serve you. And we're ultimately trying to do this build in public thing where we build radical community as company of the future, or rather a quest with companies, building it with the very people we're here to help and build with, and do this all as communities, a radical experiment. And without further ado, I'm going to bring Ariana up to the stage, and let's tell a little story. Where are you, Ariana? Can't see you.
I'm here. I'm just
there
here.
you are. Okay, hold on. Let me spotlight you.
Well, our origin story is that a couple of years ago, I was pretty depressed about the state of the world. I've always cared about the environment and equality and social justice, but I felt like it was getting worse and worse. And the more I matured, the more that I saw like the systemic like power of things on ourselves and how much it's all intricate and it's not just like thoughts, but it's hard to change, and there are like forces that are controlling way more than we think. And so I was pretty depressed about the state of the world, and I didn't really know how we could change it. And all the activist groups I was in were not very hopeful, and they just thought like we should do a revolution, but we don't even know how. And I got more and more depressed until I discovered one day the YouTube channel that Zach had. I was listening to one of my favorite economists, and I heard Zach laugh in the interview, and I thought like, is he making fun of him? So I was so offended that I went on YouTube and I wanted to see like who was making fun of my favorite. And sure enough, it was Zach, and and I listened to his rants, and it completely changed my life. Like I couldn't, it broke my mind, and he brought hope in my life. And he described a society where like we could live happily, and um, we could live happily, we could share, we could be fine, we could solve like both the inequalities and like the global warming and the pollution and all of that. And I completely changed. Like I went from someone who was very doom and cynical and worried about the world to someone who wanted to find answers. And the thing I realized is that most activists say like, oh, when things will be bad enough, people will wake up and change. Like when they'll get poor enough and repressed and oppressed enough and all of that, then we'll change. But I don't think that's the case. Like I don't think people do something when it's hard. I think they do something when they have hope. And the big problem in our society right now is that we don't have an image and like of what we could do instead. We know what's wrong, and we suffer tremendously from it, but we don't have a solution. So we either have like a lot of people who are just like collapse on themselves and are depressed and become like apathic and they can't do anything. And we have people who just like fight their neighbors and attack each other and do like terrible things and just like hate on people who are weaker than them and are more vulnerable. So, and all those people are people who are like that because they lack imagination or because they haven't been proposed a better world and a better solution. So I think this is our mission to really like think about what we could do. Like, yes, we know it's hard. Yes, we know things that are wrong, but what could we do instead? And when we'll really have an image in our head of like, this could be possible, like we could live so much better and we could be happy, then things will change. Then people will do something. Because personally, I suffer a lot from like feeling so overwhelmed by global warming and by like whales dying and by like, collapse of ecosystem. But if I feel like we can come together and do something and feel better and like get out of our collective depression and get out of like our atomization and separation, then things will get better. So I hope you guys will join our mission, and I'm sure you have so many like solutions and you have so many knowledge that we don't have, and when we come together then we can create amazing things.
We'll become
It's
together.
collective intelligence.
How do I get our screens on the same at this. There we go. All right. When we come together. How do I turn this timer off? Get out of here. Stop. 1 second. So yeah, that's what it's all about. It's about coming together and telling a new story and living it. And this woman right here,
It's still my face.
absolutely changed my life and my world, obliterating the old story and ending all the stories that I had, the self-limiting beliefs that I couldn't accomplish, that I struggle with money, that I can't take on the world, that I can't do this or this or that. And all of that has been destroyed by the love of one person and by a new story, a story that we are all worthy and that we are loved and that every one of us is worthy and capable, then that we all have something to contribute. And so without further ado, I want to shift into the next part of our story, which is really the call to adventure, the shattering of the old story into the lie that really is the problem that we see. When we see all of the problems in the world as lies, as false stories, not as things that are laws of nature. Capitalism is not a law of nature. Representative neoliberal imperial democracy, as they call it, is not a law of nature. The way things are, normality as we know it, these are not laws of nature. These are laws of man. These are stories. Companies, corporations, money, all of these things are fictions. A corporation is a line of code on a paper that comes to life and then owns other companies that are made up of people when it's not a person. And so all of these are fictions. And so I want to call people up, keep it brief, but we really want to know what are the real problems that you're facing in your life that we can start to reframe as narrative problems. Because when we can reframe them, when we see our problems, which are real problems, we struggle with them. We struggle to communicate our message. We struggle to get the exposure that we want. We struggle to feel like we're actually in control of our fate and that the world isn't careening off a cliff. And so I want to hear from all of you here because really we're trying to solve all these problems. And the biggest problems in the world today are the ones that the people insulated from the problems can't even see and are thus the biggest and most valuable problems to solve that we're going to come together and solve. All right, I think Deborah raised her hand. Let's just hear from the folks. Chime in. Let's give this a couple of minutes. Like let's go as fast as we can. Just throwing out problems, basically throwing out what broke to bring you here.
In my situation, I think one big problem was there's not really any safety nets or good safety nets for people who don't have close community. So it's easy to fall through the cracks of a system.
Come on, keep them coming. We got about 1 billion people in this chat here right now. Let's hear.
I would say kind of distill it down that there's the lack of sense of belonging, and that's very destructive to our systems, our nervous systems, and ability to imagine and connect, and that we can create something better, something abundant and whole. I can talk about. I think the easiest place for me really to talk about this is to talk about where I came from, but I can do that later. Next.
I would say, sorry, I'll wait.
Okay. The feeling that it's, in order to make it in this world and to make money and to survive, that it's hard to do that whilst doing something meaningful and doing something purposeful and something that's aligned with our values.
Yes. Money goes to like insignificant thing and even like hurtful things.
Yeah. I was going to say that my experience of trying to find my way into being able to even make a contribution has been this constant like probing at the system and trying to find some place that I can, I guess, be insidious or make a genuine contribution, and everything's been co-opted. And so I'm really looking for a whole new, I think we need to build something completely separate, parallel, so that when we say to people, hey, we've got another world, it's over here. All they have to do is cross the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
Working on it. The bridge is it's coming up. Come on, folks, keep them coming.
Cognitive dissonance. I think cognitive dissonance, I feel like, is a big challenge. Like you have people that want to be health conscious and think that, you know, but then they still smoke, right? Because, you know, we all go through that. I know what I should be doing. And then sometimes I get in the trap of just doing it anyways. What's that lyric? I want to do good, just not right now. Or I want to do the right thing, just not right now. I think that's the thing.
So there, for me, it seems like there are these toxic messages that have gotten amplified through this very, very misguided network of technologists and supposed, you know, business leaders. And the message is that we're all separate, and you have to take and get what you can, and screw other people, because that's what's required in order to become successful in society. And I'm speaking from San Francisco, California, the belly of the beast, where we've seen consciousness raising bloom, and we've seen these toxic memes proliferate. And I really, you know, that I think that's a big part of what we're seeing right now is we have to adjust our immune system to filter out this garbage noise, and we have to stop holding up these sociopaths as if they're some, you know, some God-given leader. So anyway, that's my my 2 cents.
Great contributions. All right, we got a minute and a half left. Let's just get some rapid fire, 1 or 2 words.
Not enough time when we're in the rat race.
That's it. Not enough time. Clock is ticking.
Stress.
Go ahead, Dave.
That was it. I was just dropping one word: stress. You know, there's a lot of pressure on everybody to perform in a lot of ways, and you know, one of those is just all of the economic runoff. You know, I would say that's the thing that I see as like most broken is this kind of like we're existing in kind of this this charade of an economy that's basically like got a vampiric spirit to it, and I'm not down. But actually, what it really brought me here was not that brokenness. I just came here to like be with my homies and people that I love and to connect and belong. And so, yeah, both yes and.
All right. Thank you all for your responses so much. I mean, I felt every one of them on my bones. And that's ultimately a deep pattern in everything, that all our problems are human problems, and they are narrative problems. They are problems from people who have forgotten that we are the storytellers. And really, we're crossing into the next sort of phase of our journey here, into the quest. This is really what we're here for. Our deeper purpose, our North Star blazing above us, is the remembrance of the purpose of the human being, which is to have a vision of a world that doesn't exist right now, that is a better world, that is to actually consciously steward the evolution of living systems and to design a better world, a world that serves higher forms of imagination and poetry and beauty and love, and that supports and serves more people. And so we are the storytelling ape. We are the very strange species that, you know, dogs and crows and whales are like conscious, but they don't tell stories. That's really what makes us us, is that we have these visions and we communicate them through these mouth sounds and get other people to believe them. And then we are very capable of rearranging the physics and the structures of what we perceive as reality so that we can fly through the air and turn fire into ice and just make the reality around us what we want it. And all of these problems, the stress, the broken economic system, are all stories of separation and competition that we think are real. And so when we that sounds just so horrible, right? Until we remember, oh, they're just stories. And if we can tell bigger and better stories and communicate them and actually live them as examples to people, then we can change everything. As my grandmother, my late grandmother, told me in the darkest moment of my life, trying to make a film about the homeless crisis while being homeless, I called her and asked her, why is the world so broken? What do we do about it? And she said, you be an example to other people. You live your values. You love them anyway. And when things are bad, when people are hurting you, you love them anyway. And so with that in mind, with that spirit of like, I solved my problem years ago of wanting to destroy myself by living my life as an adventure and saying like, fuck it. I'm not afraid to die. If I'm willing to kill myself, then I'm not afraid to die. I'm not afraid of anything. And so I started to live my life as a story. And I bagged a beautiful wife. I've got a lot of friends, as you see here. I'm the richest man in the world in purpose and in vision, in my opinion. my not so humble opinion, apparently. Sorry, folks. But my transformation that I'm coming down off the mountain to share with other people is the story and is this remembrance of something that I didn't invent, that none of us invented, that is the oldest technology that we are now powering with all the modern magic. So the Metamyth is that story. It's the structure of the story, and it's a sequence of meaningful mythogenetic sequences that basically programs our life, programs our reality. And so if we aren't writing our story, if we don't know what our antithesis is, our dragon, if we don't know what the sword is that we use to take action against the world, if we don't know the fountain of our resources, if we don't know and haven't programmed and written in these elements of what our life means, someone else has, or even worse, no one has. So we've developed this technology and we're developing it into an app and a system and an AI powered magical living story system and a transformational sequence to guide people through to help them take back their stories. Not to write their stories for them, to give them back their stories. I just took beautiful Kevin Howard through the Metamyth yesterday. Kevin, you want to give us a little, just a quick experience of what that was like?
Oh, thank you so much, Zachary. Yeah, no, we got deep into it and it felt like the seed had opened and the green shoots start coming through the soil. As we found the core messages that should resonate, that certainly resonated from us. So yeah, no, it was a period of bloom. Let's put it that way.
Well said.
Over a 3 hour period. So
yeah, that was a marathon. Breadcrumbs. Breadcrumbs. How do I get oh, I got a room spotlight. So wait, what am I doing here? All right. So basically, without further ado, as we move into the next phases of this, basically we are retelling a new story. And we're trying to live that new story in a new kind of company, a new kind of community as the sort of organizing principle. We're trying to do this with the people we're trying to help instead of like making a product and doing market research and marketing and all of these destructive systems and stories that were really just, even if you like them, if you hate them, they were designed 100 years ago for people in brick stores selling shoes made out of factories. So the same with governments, the same with money and currency. All these old systems are stories that we have outgrown or we are in the process of outgrowing. So we're developing an incredibly powerful service, a suite of technologies to turn work into adventure, to turn background characters into the authors of reality, to transform busyness into easiness, and ultimately to create a feedback loop of positive storytelling that transforms reality, that shows what is possible so that it becomes inevitable, and so that we can create an ecosystem of projects, peoples, companies, and networks that, I mean, my crazy ambition is to scale to millions of people going on their journeys, remembering why they're really here, connecting to larger quests, connecting to other people who share those quests, and really restructuring our value system so that we're going from this, doing everything for money as a store of value where we're hoarding fake wealth into a story of values where we actually get paid by reality to go on these quests and change the world and make reality better and evolve together. So, as we shift into the vision, one more bit. The basic Metamyth, the sort of 5 arcs of it are the call to adventure, what old story is broken, then the quest, which is what is the purpose underneath what you're doing, that what is your tribe and your methodology and your way, and then what is the vision of what is possible. Once you follow that quest as a plot line, we write all the way into the future outcome of what becomes possible if we follow our purpose, and then really seeing that as a way of seeing the future and then writing backwards into the moment right now where we are in this building the bridge, as Sinead said, in the mission, which is like, all right, we know the future, we know why we're here, what the fuck do we do about it? And we'll be getting into it with all of you in the mission for today's session. And then the request, the return journey, where you take your transformation and you give it to the world, because the movie does not end when you ride off into the sunset with your beautiful dark-haired Italiana sweetheart. It ends when you bring your gift back to humanity. So I want to invite the team up to each talk about a little piece of what we're building. And how do I like bring everybody together? And yeah, let's talk about like what we're building here. Let's talk about the vision that we have, where's Nathan? That we're all working toward in our own way. And where's Trenton? Trenton, can you turn your camera on, buddy, so I can put you up here? Oh, we got Leo back. Where's Jay? Oh, there you are. Okay. So, just a little overview, if that's okay, gang. Basically, we're creating an ecosystem. We're building the federation. We're going from the corporation, which is like one monolithic entity, which is not a human being, which is basically a line of code of a bunch of people's names on paper that then comes to own other people in the form of companies and wealth and land and all these other abstractions, into a federation of basically diversity in unity of organizations and people and projects that come together to share these common goals, where we go from being a company with a mission to being a quest with companies. And so there's a huge vision here, and everybody here is kind of developing it from building communities that really serve life, that serve the people that they're with, where that becomes the essential structure. It's the glue holding everything together. Where we are creating a new governance system where work is play, where work is adventure, and decisions are made because they serve the story, not because some arbitrary person in authority, bellowed them. We're moving from authoritarian systems into authorship, where everyone develops authorship as they contribute to a common story. We're building media ecologies where positive stories reinforce positive stories, and where we can basically connect with people in their problems in the world and redirect them to the projects in the world that matter as we seek the best stories, shine a light on them, make them real. And then we're building communitech or magitech, community technology, technology that serves life, AI systems, magical apparatus that allows us to, do the thing. Anyway, so gang, if everybody could just share a little bit about your session, and then we're going to go into the breakout room and basically kind of try to focus on like what's our quest here? What are we trying to figure out? What becomes possible if we come together and do these things? Come on, gang. Somebody start it off.
Somebody want to go before me? I'm not.
You're first. You're first.
Oh yeah, I'm first. All right, so I'm gonna take the breakup for Communitech. So basically, I'm a software engineer. I've been writing code since the mid '90s as a kid, and working for startups and corporations alike. And this is just a new journey for me. And I'm not a public speaker. I'm not comfortable talking in front of a bunch of people yet. So this is exciting and a new experience for me. And I've been partaking in this probably since COVID kind of happened, just kind of reawakening into this kind of transformation of things not being how, as a kid, you feel like this isn't right, something's up, I don't know what it is. And then as you get older, you kind of try to figure out what that is. And so now I'm kind of here like looking backwards and saying, how do we get somewhere? How do we actually do it? How do we build the world that we know that needs to be here for us to be real human beings on this earth and not just stuck working, for the extraction of profit. So I'll be talking to anybody interested about the tech that we're creating, the tech that we need to create, the tech that you're interested in creating, things like that.
And just a quick bit there, we are actually building an AI-powered application to guide people through their metamyths and then actually bring it to life. So if that's your thing, like we really need help with that. All right, who's up next? Friday?
Okay, what becomes possible? An economy that supports all life.
Yes.
Yeah, which every dream you have comes out of that. And I've been researching for the past 3 years and I've seen it sprouting up everywhere. The mainstream culture just doesn't know about it. So with Zachary's help, I started performing cultural experiments and from the general public get things like, this is the kind of movement that changes world history, hope for humanity. I can see that in 5 years, maybe 10, as long as our message spreads and the better the world gets, that we're going to have this economy based on well-being, community, and care. And I've seen people act on it just by telling the right stories, which is why I'm here, by the way. So
Magnificent. And just to double tap on that, we're building media platforms. We are using our storytelling capacity. Basically, once we know the story, then we get out there and we yap it out to the world. And we're working to create this positive feedback loop where, we are shining lights on the things that are meaningful in the world that can transform everything, so that we can mass produce them and send them to the world and create like the Vice for regenerative platform, like Vice News for like regenerative positive storytelling. And so that we can use media and train a whole new generation of storytellers to get out there and tell a better story. So if you're using content creation or media or anything in that sort of field, that's your camp. All right, Crystal, take it away.
Hey y'all, I'm Crystal, and I'm going to be running the Connectionality group with my boy Trenton, and we are going to be chatting all about community and the need for community. And Jess said so perfectly in the chat earlier that one of the keys to our well-being is connection, and many of us are missing this sense of connection. And one of those connections that we very much need is connection with each other. And we are wanting to really bring into community, connect heart to heart, see what you guys are needing, and serve that for the greater good of all. And so come join me and Trenton, and I'll pass it over to Trenton, see what he wants to say about the whole thing. So we hope to see you in our group.
Hey guys, it's Trenton. I think community is very important, especially for us. We all have like, bright minds, and I think it's important for us to reflect off of each other and figure out what we're missing. So I think it's very important.
And so just to double tap on that one, basically we're going to be designing and developing a community where we're serving the people here, and we're creating this transformational field to give people the services and the help that they want and that they need to transform in all these different ways. And so each of these little communities is basically going to become a recurring working group within a larger field of Another World is Possible, of all these different projects and people's coming together, that is going to open up the space for everyone to sort of explore and connect and create culture, really create this sort of feeling of like being in a village with other people, but in a distributed online, massively scaled movement where we're connecting with the other weirdos in the world who believe that another world is possible 24/7, and healing together and growing and learning and doing movie nights and all the social glue that really holds us together. Okay, I think that's everything. I'm going to go for mine now. I forgot to mention easiness, which is the evolution of busyness. Basically, business, this need to churn money out of everything to make us endlessly productive, is actually hollowing out the actual value in the world. And so basically we're going into a space of like regenerative economics, regenerative enterprise, where we exist in a world where everything costs money, even as we're working toward exploring alternative currencies, new credit systems, new ways for us to organize and come together and form ventures and startups, and to create this field of creation rather than just raw productivity. And so that's the other group. And all of these groups are basically, we're broadcasting our needs. Our need is our gift. We have a need to be able to expand all of these potentials and capacities to the point where we're bringing people like you into this process, bringing you on journeys with us and evolving as a community. So we're bringing you into working groups to figure out how do we come together? How does everyone on this call come together and break out into little groups to figure out how to solve these humongous problems and create a better alternative that we actually live? All right, so we're going to go into the
It's
breakouts.
possible that you forgot my group, Zach?
Oh, I'm so sorry, my love. How could I forget you? I was actually daydreaming about kissing your neck, so I'm sorry. I forgot to hear from you. Please share.
Nice. Okay, well, my group is about like how did you call that? Like questship
Questocracy, authorship.
questocracy. Like the big problem in our governance, our corporation is that it's hierarchical and that there's a boss and there's people who have to follow. And like there's a big tension between the boss who feels like they have to be hyper vigilant and control everyone and no one is really working, only them. And the people under him feel like they don't have agency and they don't get rewarded for their hard work. So how do we come together instead of like fighting each other in that quest?
Yeah, ultimately, how do we
do that? Kind
yeah,
of hard. Like, yeah, hierarchy sucks, but how do you make decisions in the way that goes somewhere and it's not just like cacophony? So that's gonna be my group. If you guys have ideas, you're more than welcome because this is a hard question.
Yeah, ultimately, how do you have a system that's not authoritarian, that is based on authorship, that also doesn't just evolve into a flat mess of meetings about meetings about meetings. All right, so without further ado, I'm going to open up the rooms. We've got questocracy, community tech, media attraction, communality, connectionality, and easiness. Um, and without further ado, easiness is regenerative economics, and that'll be the one that I'm in there. Someone asked that. All right, so rooms open. Can y'all see that? Is that working?
I don't think so.
All participants have been invited to join breakouts.
Not seeing it.
It's open.
We did test it and it did work yesterday. So
What does broadcast mean? Broadcast message, broadcast voice. They're open. Oh,
wait to be assigned.
it says they will be assigned. Oh shit. Allow participants to choose room. There we
There
go.
we go. There we go. There we go. We got it.
Cool.
Okay, see you guys.
All right. See you on the inside. And we'll be out in 10 minutes.
Yeah, 10 minutes.
Hello, Denise. So nice to see you. You're muted.
Hi, Zachary.
How are you doing today? So great to
I'm
see you.
doing well. Thank you. I like the, oh, yay, Kevin's here. Hi, Kevin.
Hello, Denise. Good to see you.
Yeah, you too.
Zachary, it's a small world, my friend, to see folks who we know in other areas.
Small world getting bigger.
Yeah,
That's
exactly. Hi, Shona.
Hello, how are you?
Good. Good to be together. Thanks for convening us, Zachary.
So great to be here. And let's give people a couple other seconds to filter in. I'm just noticing people are still picking their rooms. Ariana's room is the most popular. No surprises there. She is a beautiful host.
Hello, Michael.
Cool. So, all right, we're here to basically restructure this thing we call business, this thing we call the market, currencies, economic systems. We're trying to figure out how do we do that in a regenerative way. And, practical questions here for our own community and group is like the burning question for me, and this might be a little crass, is like, how do we charge people money? I mean, I want to give things away for free. I don't believe in money. I believe in a better story, but also I know the power that money has in this world, and that every single regenerative project that I know struggles to fund itself, struggles to eat. Actually, I struggle to eat. I'm buying dog food with a credit card, basically. And we're working to create a system where, we bring people into a field of transformation to give them access to beautiful services. And we also weave in these alternative currencies. Sinead, I know that's a big interest of yours, so that basically we're creating multiple forms of value, and we're like compensating people in multiple ways, while people can basically access the goods and services that make life valuable and beautiful without just money. So that we know we have to exist with money. We have to use that stuff to exist. And the more of it we have, the more we can spread our message and bring in more people and help others. And yet we also want to fleece in, basically going from paywalls that just block out anybody who doesn't have the money into cell walls where there's a semi-impermeable membrane where we're accepting multiple forms of value. So what do y'all think about that? I know I'm curious what your perspectives and ideas are on this big problem that is going to destroy the whole world if we don't solve it.
Zachary, I'd love to jump in and start with a foundational perspective. If you could imagine the imagery of sitting around the dinner table with your family and friends each night, and you know how many people are going to show up, and so you prepare enough food, you put the platters on the table, and what happens is basically everyone fills their plates, and they pass the platters around, and we eat. And after you fill your plate the first time, if you're still hungry, those who are, they put a little bit more on their plate or whatever. And at the end of the evening, everyone leaves the table and they're fed, and we usually have leftovers. The reason why now this is something we all know, but there's a value structure in that we practice there that needs to be translated out into the general economy. The problem with the application of money is that it it has no relationship to people claiming resource just as, for what they need, just what they need. Not in a Spartan sense, just like we're sitting at the dinner table. We leave the table full. The problem is that if we make as much money as if each of us make as much money as we can, or try to make as much money as we can, right? And I don't mean in a per se greedy sense. I just mean in a incentive sense, right? What happens is this is why we don't have enough for everyone, right? And so, yeah, when we think about the economics and the fact that we have to have money to live, because this is our access to resource, the virtue underneath that needs to be sufficiency. Because
Gang, I need to pop into another room and put out a fire real quick, but keep going, Kevin, and keep stirring your will.
Yeah, so I just want to throw it out to the group. The idea is
I'm very excited about also the position of Finland in this geopolitical era and how that connects to everything.
Cooperative at all. It's an anti-cooperative. Oh, cool. We can record here.
Real quick, gang. Friday, shouldn't you be hosting the media attraction group?
She said Crystal was in the wrong one. Crystal was telling her.
No, Crystal told me I was in the wrong place and I got confused and she said to come here.
I think you should be in media attraction. There's none of our people.
Yeah, media.
Okay.
Oh God. Okay.
All right.
This is our first time doing breakouts. So.
All good.
Yeah, just really passionate about utilizing decentralized finance infrastructure to enable systems change.
Real quick, gang. Sorry about this. We accidentally a little mix up with the breakouts. There's no facilitator here. Everyone here is unsupervised, like kids throwing spaghetti at each other. I'm sure you're tearing things apart, but I'm just I think Friday's gonna jump in a minute. But yeah, just a little bit. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but just a little bit about what we're building. We're building out a media ecosystem. We're trying to figure out how do media and different forms of media attract people into brighter futures, into bigger and better transformative outcomes that show people what is possible rather than just talking about them and yapping. So sorry, I'm trying to stir all of these group chats at the same time. Nice to see you, Michael.
Greetings, Earthling.
All right, well, two Michaels. Okay, Friday, take it away.
Okay, I'll do my best. I didn't realize I was hosting a breakout room, but we can we
build in. All right, so I guess we're all pulling back. Oh, hey, Zach, what you got for us?
I'm just coming in to see how everybody's doing in here. Seems like everything's going good. Keep it going.
So good, yeah. So what do you guys think about that? Like, do you have any ideas about how we might bring
that to us makes a huge difference?
That's very interesting because I thought like, oh, maybe the solution is actually like alignment and like the people who share the mission should be doing
that one. But stone soup is such a beautiful metaphor and such a beautiful story, and it's so empowering. And it starts out, anyway. I think I don't know if I'm happy to recount it if someone's not familiar with it. But I think that idea of everyone maybe a little skeptical at the beginning, but hey, I've got a few potatoes, I'll throw those into the soup, and hey, I've got some carrots, and maybe I don't have anything, but can I still come? And pretty soon there's this abundance, and we're all leaning into community instead of leaning out and trying to get over on somebody else. So that's what I wanted to mention. Thank you.
I love that, and I love thinking about the community as commons and as like the organization as a common space where we're pooling our different aspects. We're putting our potatoes, our carrots, our onions, where everybody's going to pull out of that same soup. And it's like that 1,000-year soup where people are continually making the same soup from the stock, that they just keep adding things to it. Will Ruddick talks about the calabash, which is like a gourd that as long as we put things into it, we can pull what we need out. And that's basically what the sort of field of economic relations is. And so basically what we're really trying to figure out is how do we formalize that? How do we formalize informal economies, beyond money? They're informal because we don't charge money for them. How silly. Because, like Kevin was saying at the beginning, we're trying to get as much food on the table for as many people as possible, and then just give everyone access. And so it's all about getting into access economy. And what I'm thinking about here is like, basically, we're taking steps toward that through what I think of as kind of a spiral with different levels to it and different layers of commitment. And the more you commit to something, the more you have access to what's in that pool. And so up to the point where we're just putting it all in there, where we're like a family, the kids in a family don't have their own fucking bank accounts. And if they do, that's a sickness, you know?
The cell wall, I liked your metaphor of the cell, because one of the things that I've been thinking about is how we could co-own housing, and like on a massive scale, instead of giant companies sucking up all the housing. If we had real genuine commonsing of housing, where we did say we're going to pour all of our resources into this housing, there is always going to be people who just want to do a monetary exchange for it. And that actually gives you that potential to have what I call the fiat currency, which is the one you need to exchange with the government. You need to exchange with the companies that have access to, building materials and stuff for now, until these other places come along. That there is that distinction between the people who are members of the commons, who contribute, who take back, who to the best of their ability, which doesn't mean everybody contributes an equal amount. It doesn't mean everybody's seed stake is the same. But you also have that sort of surface area on which it's possible for people to come along and go, wow, cool commons you've got here. I have a sheep. And you go, well, okay, but you're going to have to give us money to put your sheep on the common.
Yeah, exactly. The money forms a protective barrier that allows us to be in legal compliance, for us to render unto Caesar what is Caesar's. Basically, if the system runs on money and all you have to do to basically be able to have your own little world is put money in the slot, just put the money in the slot. Just do it,
Yeah.
And we can create.
And then you sort of, one of the things I've always been concerned about looking at all my permaculture friends is that almost all of their systems, fundamentally their source of money, is teaching permaculture. And I'm like, okay, we have to actually have a sustainable system in here. You've got to be like really genuinely feeding yourself, and then only paying the taxes or whatever with that fiat currency.
Yeah, exactly. You got it. Well, that's a permaculture principle: obtain a yield. And so we need to obtain a yield. We need to create more than we eat, and we need to create more value than we take in. And that's part of regenerative economy, is that regenerating what we need to live. I wanted to say, Sinead, you should definitely connect with Denise, because she's actually cracked the housing situation like an egg. Is working to fry that up. Yeah. Just to sort of synthesize some things here, we're going to have to go back to the main rooms in a sec. This was just kind of an introduction. I mean, really, we want to have these conversations every day. We want to have a recurring space to host these kind of conversations and actually answer them, model them in our own community and organization, and export that to the world. Copy, paste, click, 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 click. And so basically the idea that we've been sort of toying with, bringing in a lot of the things y'all are talking about, really, I mean, beat for beat, it's like creating this sort of parallel economy where there's this barrier of the money, where the community is pooling its resources, where it's sharing it out of my wallet, and every one of us in our own little is in our own little space here, like our own little boxes. Like this is how we're doing the economy, instead of all of us sort of having a shared pool where we're sharing our resources. And ultimately, the money, when we do this, goes toward things like infrastructure. It doesn't go toward commodities. It doesn't go toward our own services. We use our own agreement systems, our own credit systems, to support each other and to say, I'm going to do this for you and you're going to do this for me. And then basically, as value is created, value is shared. And so, yeah, we want to create these ecosystems that ultimately are able to pool enough money that people just don't have to think about it. And we do things as we go out of wage slavery, which is, living hand to mouth and then basically paying your money out into corporations and landlords. We pool our resources together into commons, into housing cooperatives, into land, into projects. And then basically, like we have a company that we're going to have multiple streams of revenue. We're going to be doing community transformational journeys for the Metamyth. We're going to create this application that we're going to be scaling to the world. We're going to be creating media, and we're going to be working with companies to help them develop a conscience and a purpose and a vision that isn't just extracting more money forever, to feed and nourish supporting the projects that matter. And so we got a lot of questions around how do you actually do this? How do we bring it together? And we really need like accountants. We really need like finance people. We need people who have a foot in the old system that know how it works for us to be able to basically build the bridge, as you said earlier, Sinead, build the bridge.
I have a couple of accountants in my network who
Yeah.
are entirely aligned with this.
Let's bring them on board. So we got 20 seconds left in the breakouts here. I'm gonna close this room and then I'm gonna go tell everybody 60 seconds. Y'all can keep jamming in the main room.
Great.
How do I close this room? Why don't we just everybody just
I think
It'll
yeah,
stop
we'll all jump. If you close it, we'll all jump. But that's cool. We got to go back into the main.
Oh, okay, it's gonna give everyone 60 seconds. That's
yeah,
good. That's good.
Yeah, cool. All right, perfect. All right. Well, really, yeah, I'm nice to connect with you all, and I like the permaculture piece of this. Yeah, the parallel piece. I love the idea that we're not going to smash capitalism necessarily. We're just going to create a better way that's going to infiltrate
a bridge to the new way.
Exactly.
And
it may start off with a rope going across a river, and pretty soon we've got a suspension bridge, and who knows, maybe soon we'll have a nicely architected, beautiful way to switch back and forth between the two, and eventually we're on the other side, and let's build the next bridge.
And through regenerative living, we set up the next generation for a better life than they otherwise will be inheriting.
Yeah, and I think the old system is really enforced ignorance, is what it is. It's basically excluding our.
All right, we're back at it. Back in the house. That ran a little bit longer than expected, so I'll try to basically. Let's let everybody trickle back in. That was fun. Still learning the breakout quorum. Could have gone for 30 minutes. Hell, David just said we could have gone for 30 more minutes in the breakout room. I feel like everybody feels like they were cut off, and that's kind of the big point, is that we're trying to make this a community that's continually running, so that all these conversations can be running all the time, and so that we're really like moving more and more into like, this is work. These conversations are continually going and accumulating, and we're solving these problems, not just yapping about them. No offense to anyone here. I'm the biggest yapper of all, of course. So I would love to have just like quick little somebody from each group come forward and or maybe our facilitators kind of synthesize what we talked about in each group. I'll start. We talked about the metaphor of kind of stone soup and of basically like the dinner table, that when you're at the dinner table, you're not charging for the things that are on the table. And yet, and in the stone soup metaphor, it's like everybody has something to bring to the table and everybody eats. And then the 1,000-year soup, where that same soup keeps coming because people keep putting into it. So really it's about this idea of company as commons, community as commons, where we're creating this kind of big we wallet, like the mueria, the commitment pool, where we're pooling our goods and services. And as we commit, we gain access to more layers of those services. And so we're creating parallel economies where money is the barrier that allows us to go back to town and get an ice cream cone or go visit our grandmother when she dies on an airplane. So we're not stuck in the cult, but also allows us to basically pool our resources into shared infrastructure like housing, like community structure, that allows us to not need the money as much, while we create our own currency systems, our own credit systems, that allows us to meet many of our needs on a high functioning level in our networks. And then also to obtain a yield, a really important permaculture principle. We have to obtain a yield. We need to create more value than we create, and we need to regenerate the value so that we're not just skating by. And that's really what we're developing in this laboratory, this playground of easiness, the next evolution of business. So let's say who's next? We're gonna go with Crystal.
All right. Hey, so in the community group, we had some ideas on how to foster community for each and every one of us to feel a part. And Deborah brought up a great point for people who feel like outliers and don't really feel like they're part of a community and don't feel like a community builder in and of themselves. How do we make sure that people like that can feel comfortable and safe and like open up inside of a community space, and like how do we make it very like inclusive for all, right? Like a good question is for that, how do we build that psychological safety? We talked about the need for the ability to ask for help when we need it, having a shared purpose, shared vision. We talked about maybe to build community, not everything needs to be about world building and self-development. It has to also be about fun, right? Like how do we come together as a community and build things that we could bond over in a fun way? Entertainment, movie nights, virtual events, bonfires or paint nights, laughter therapy, shared contemplations, power of gamification. Also, we talked about how do we make something like gamify things. And then we also, I hold community circles and like women's circles, unity circles. And so we were thinking about that too, ways to bring those kind of modalities in to help people feel that they can share in an authentic way. So just these different, brainstorming ideas with our people in community group about how can we make this, you all feel a part of this together, that we can reach out to each other when we're going through things and we can connect and la-di-da-di-da, So good to be here with all of you. Super exciting and inspiring.
Hey, it feels like Crystal's been here for a year, right?
Yeah.
She joined last week. She's been on one fucking call and she's already here. That's how fast like these relationships can flourish when the alignment is right and when we share that story. I just wanted to also say some people are leaving. I think we're at the hour now. We went a little bit longer, but I think that's okay. I just want to say, give us your emails in the chat if you want us to reach out with you one-on-one about joining this community, about making this something permanent, something ongoing. And really what we're preparing for is a launch. We're launching our application. Everybody here can get access to the application as it is now in its kind of beta form, as long as you share your story and commit to it, do the work, and go on the journey. And we're asking for people to support, to share, to pool your resources and energies into this field of transformation that we are building ultimately to support you, to support humanity, and to advance this larger quest for us to change the world together. I just wanted to get that in there before some people are having to jump off. Please leave your information in the comments, and we will reach out to every single one of you, because this is like Crystal was just saying, this is a family that we're trying to build here. We're trying to create something truly new. I'm sorry, I'm yapping really fast. Anyway, let's get to Nathan.
Yeah, so in the community tech, we talked a bit about sovereign tech, like where the tech has come from. Well, we also probably consider lots of things tech, like even language is tech, money is tech. So it's really like money is also a story. So we talked about how to take that kind of tech back into our hands so that we're not giving away our data. We have sovereign tech, sovereign data. It's not sucking our attention away from us. It's not trying to profit off of us. It's not. And so we talked about some solutions also. Ramsey has been deep in solutions. So he talked a little bit about decentralized autonomous organizations with DAOs, and also decentralized human organizations. And really, how do we get this into, how do we kind of build these techs legally also? So we also have the legal barriers to overcome, and we're creating new stories, and we're also creating the tech to create the new future. So it's really, it's really awesome. I'm glad this is going to be a weekly thing. It's not, we don't have to get everything done today. This is just introduction, just learning what people need and want, and this is going to be awesome. Thank you.
Michael said it's not just an app, it's an application, because we're not in a rush. To which I say it's an appetizer for the buffet of infinite possibilities. Yeah, Nathan and I have been cranking on this app, and I would share it with you. Can I pull it up, Nathan? Is that okay?
Yeah, definitely.
I'll pull it up in a sec because it's got to load. Yeah, we've been programming, vibe coding, vibe conjuring our asses off to create something truly amazing, and we're right on the threshold of like bringing it to life, like I was gonna say like Frankenstein, but like something that isn't a monster you have to kill. Anyway, let's see, Arctic. So
we can listen to Somebody else.
Everybody here on this call that wants access right now, we're going to give you early access to this. If you fill out our survey. But yeah, basically we've been programming the entire Metamyth journey, all 22 different sections and 5 arcs from your origin story, your dragon, your threshold. We're still working on a lot of the language and polishing it up and making this really inclusive, making it a guided journey that is an extremely functional document that each of these sections is a life-changing transformation. Each one is a switch to flip in your own life to say the sword, turn your wisdom that basically turn your wound into your wisdom, into your weapons. That becomes the transformation that you then give back to humanity. And so it's an extremely powerful sort of like transcendent world building, like branding, rewrite of your reality, strategic visionary alignment, like sending you into the future to broadcast yourself into the possibility of what you're here to create, and then creating a structured plan and foundation, agreements. It's everything you really need to completely rewrite your life story and feel like you have absolute clarity on where you're going next and what to do. And as more and more people use the application, we have more data that will be owned by the users. They can contribute it if they want, and they'll eventually be getting paid to contribute their data into a network where all of these, basically, we're each going through this organizational DNA process that allows us to map our harmonies so that my needs become your offers become my needs. And we're able to sort of connect in these larger community quests. All right, Ariana, share what the harvest from your crew.
You're muted. I don't see Ariana.
I don't either. Okay, why don't we go Friday?
Right. I did not understand the assignment. I couldn't even find the right breakout room. I'm so sorry. We had some introductions.
The first experience with breakouts. The tech does not work for us yet. We're still slaves to it.
Yeah, I mean that's a great.
This was only the tech up here, yo.
That's a great moment though. I mean, we're doing this on a shoestring. Literally, we're a few people going up against the dragons of our time, and we're bringing this all together. So we're calling in your support. We need help. We need help to take on this epic mission. We have a vision that could last for 1,000 years, and we have all this potential and all this magic and all these solutions, and there's so many more solutions in the chat here, like in all these little faces and all these little screens, and we're working to really create something that sustains and that grows. And to do that, we need your help. So yeah, thank you. That was helpful. Ariana, you want to share your harvest from your group?
Yeah, well, I was just gonna say we need your help and we need your collective intelligence. The world will work so much better if we all were creative and using all of our brain instead of being subjugated to other people's decision and power. So I had the governance group. We talked about like how do we take decisions together. It's still they had so many solutions that we couldn't wait to hear, but the group was too short. We talked about how kind of consensus can help us to do decisions because we can hear everyone and then we can agree on what we're going to do, even though not everyone agrees, but we do concessions. And if we all feel heard, then there is mutual respect and it can go forward. And that we don't need to be aligned and push everyone inside of one idea, but it's the diversity of opinion that is actually perspective that gives us a better idea of a better vision of what's reality and how to go from there. So I'm gonna keep it there, but there was so much nice input that I'm not even advanced enough to understand, but I can't wait to hear from you guys more.
Is that everyone? Is that all?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Amazing. Well, yeah, thank you all so much for your shares. Everybody, like again, I feel like everybody said this could have lasted for hours and hours, and that's kind of the idea. That's what we're here to feel out. We're really trying to go from, people in this huge group into, regular recurring organizational sort of forms. And we're really preparing for a launch of two things. One, our Metamyth application, which everyone here who engages can get access to that now. We're asking very kindly for $100 to get the AI powered version once it comes out. So we'll give you the beta now, and you can either wait and get the AI version or just start going through it and start rewriting your life story. And we're preparing for a 7-week transformational journey where we take our first cohort of adventurers through the Metamyth journey across 7 weeks. So every week we will explore a different arc of the journey and basically bring people into little tribes, little groups, so that they can really intimately transform together and go through this process as community as we collectively evolve in 7 weeks. I mean, change your life story in 7 weeks, get in control of turn your wounds into weapons, learn your methodology that you're here to share the world with, world build the future that you're here to create. I mean, it seems pretty fucking valuable to me. We're trying to figure out what to charge for that. I know a lot of other like coaching programs, for way less that charge way more. So we're trying to really figure out what is a sustainable amount that we can charge people and how we can also make paywalls into sell walls so that we take other forms of contribution where people can contribute to the quest to advance in the quest. But just to be totally blunt, Ariana and I are in separate screens right now because we're in separate continents. We're in separate countries. Well, continents. Canada is not on another continent, but it's not this one. We're separated by the border. Ariana tried to cross the border 6 or 7 months ago, an eternity, and was harassed and blocked from entering because we're engaged. And we are working like crazy to pull this all together in our fucking bullshit bootstrap little startup origin story, living in a trailer, which I love, with my beautiful dog, just trying to bring it together. And so we're completely unabashedly asking for the support of the community to support this epic vision. And anything you can contribute is going to be basically go toward credit in our community in the future. And as people contribute more, we really want people to own the community more. So it's really a situation where the more you give, the more you get. And we're creating a cooperative, community-owned organization that will eventually become a foundation with a trust that owns the company itself, where we funnel the profits into the nonprofit and basically create this federation of all of our aligned projects. So it doesn't have to be one company absorbing all the others. I'm a little nervous and sweaty because this is hard shit to do. It's really hard to ask for what you need, even though that's one of the core transformations in the journey. That's one of the core things, like I'm professionally helping grown ass adults do, is ask for what they need. Because when we speak what we need into existence and we're specific about it, we get it. And the world that we want becomes possible because we speak it into existence. And so thank you all so much for joining us on this journey. I would love to basically leave the room open. I'll stay as long as you guys want. I've got to go shoot a Metamyth podcast session with Dekai, an amazing AI researcher who's writing a book wrote a book called Raising AI, about how AI is ultimately our child and we need to raise it and treat it like a kid, not a machine. Tangent. But yeah, I'd love to just really open things up for jam, like sacred hang. Let's vibe. Anybody who wants to stay can stay as long as you want. I'll stay for at least another whatever. And let's just explore. I mean, what's coming up for us? What are we excited about? What are we hopeful for? What would become possible if we came together and did this as a community? Please, other people speak. I'm done yapping.
I'll help you out there by uttering some syllables. I just wanted to give love and appreciation to you and Ariane and Crystal and Friday and everybody, our hosts here. This has been great. I've been happy to be able to connect, and I have to jump off now. But much love and many blessings, and I hope to connect with all of you again soon.
Good to see you, Dave. I'll reach out on Signal. Yeah, I was just going to say, Marlo, maybe we wait for the dust to settle on who's going to stick around, depending on how many people we've got. It might even be fun to have another breakout, but we'll see how many people are here. But what was your prompt? Can you just repeat what you said last time?
Oh, I think the prompt was like, what becomes possible if we come together? What could we do together? What could all these people in this screen and many, many more, because this is what fucking 2 LinkedIn posts brought in. What could this idea expanded? What basically, if we follow our purpose of coming together as storytellers to become world builders and ultimately reality authors, like what becomes possible if we follow this all the way? The story begins. And if you made it this far, you're definitely going to be joining us next week or the week after or the week after or the week after, and looking forward to going with us on a Metamyth journey yourself and accessing the magical technology that we will be releasing to the world soon. But we will be releasing it early to the people who show up to the calls and embed themselves into the narrative DNA of the future that we are here to create. As always, we are here to write the myth of the future that we are here to live. We have that power. You have that power. You have a story. We have a bigger story together. And when we join our forces together into a common narrative, everything becomes possible. This is the start of a long journey, a journey to truly take on the biggest dragons in the world and to seek the greatest and grandest treasures, which are a vision of a new world, of a world that is an adventure, that is not a slog, a world where we find each other on purpose and we live our lives together as communities coming together to solve the world's biggest problems and burn them into the world's greatest solutions. Thanks for joining. Please like and subscribe this channel, and to beat the algorithmic dragons that are holding back our story, please leave a comment. Tell us your story. Tell us what you got out of this. Why did you watch this video? You watched an hour-long video about us talking about crazy things like changing the world with story. You must have a story yourself. And you must be interested and have questions that you can actually help us to answer next week as we move forward in the journey. Reach out, check us out, hit the Discord link, join our free community, and I'll see you on the other side. The journey is just beginning. I don't really know where this is going to go. I see the distance. I see the sunset gleaming. I see the possibility of us coming together and doing something amazing, but it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. Every person that joins, every story that we unlock, all the human potential that adds to our possibility changes reality as we know it. So on that note, see you next week.